Female Army officer boards plane, man won't let her take her seat. While a female Army officer was boarding a plane, a man in first class suddenly stood up in front of her, blocking the aisle. It was then that he made it clear he wasn't going to let her take her seat. For most people, air travel is a stressful yet necessary routine. Delays, layovers, and uncomfortable seats are just a few of the drawbacks that make flying the bane of many travelers. However, it's the other passengers that can truly make or break a lengthy flight. Of course, military personnel are quite used to dealing with these kinds of discomforts, and always without complaint. Unfortunately, our service members are often forgotten, ignored, or even mistreated when they re-enter society, and the flight home is no exception. While waiting for her flight to take off, Jessica Titus witnessed an encounter between a female Army officer and another passenger. Fortunately, she was determined to expose the first-class passenger's behavior for the world to see. As the servicewoman was walking down the aisle in first class to take her seat in coach, an anonymous male passenger quickly stood up and stopped her from passing. Catching the woman off guard, he refused to let her take her seat. Incredibly, he had an ulterior motive for refusing to let her sit down. On my flight Tuesday, I walked down the jetway behind a woman in uniform, Army. A man stood up from his first-class seat and said, "Sorry ma'am, I'm in your seat," Titus said. Seeing that the female officer was confused, the male passenger insisted on seeing her ticket. "What does your ticket say?" he prompted. The officer answered, "What?" "No, I'm 31B, assuring that she was moving toward her seat in coach. Incredibly, the man wasn't about to let her continue on. Instead of sitting back down, the man hastily moved toward her seat 31B and quietly took his place. It was then that the officer and surrounding passengers realized what the man was doing. Having recognized her military service, the man concocted a plan to force the officer to take his first-class seat as a thank you. Before the service member had even realized the man's plan, he was already in her coach seat, leaving her no choice but to take his place in first class. He walked away, leaving her with his first-class seat and then took her middle seat in coach, Jessica Titus said. Jessica Titus wanted to reward the act of kindness. Titus was awestruck by the man's pricey act of kindness. After all, first-class seats don't run cheap. As such, she slipped the man a quick note and a bit of cash, thanking him for his good deed. "Please accept a drink or snack on me," her letter read. "If everyone treated people the way you treated the servicewoman, the world would be a better place." However, the man denied her offer, much to Titus' dismay. However, it was his refusal which proved once again that he merely wanted to bless the woman out of the goodness of his own heart, seeking nothing in return. This is the purest form of charity. In a world in which so many of us are simply looking out for ourselves, it's refreshing to see someone take the opportunity to do a good deed without wanting any reward in return. Hopefully, this man's simple act of kindness inspires others to do the same.